What up, potty people, and welcome back to Clipped. As always, I'm Eric, your host, and Clipped brings you the tips, resources, and people to help you crush your content goals. Now, in this episode, I'm changing it up. I'm talking about something fun, and it's all about creating the content you want to create and not always worrying about quote-unquote target audiences or like digging into the minutia of your data and analytics. You know, a lot of people focus their episodes strictly on data, like they look at what type of episodes were downloaded the most. They go to their Apple podcast consumption and see if people are listening to a specific type of episode longer than the other episodes that you have. And this may sound contradictory because in the past I have talked about that. And it's not that I'm against that. It's just that I'm in a phase right now where I kind of want to talk about the things that I want to talk about. And I'm not really worried about catering to a specific group or who my quote unquote target audience is, because I'm still learning that and I'm not even completely sure. And it's just like, dude, you don't always need to create content around the topics that have performed the best based on download numbers or any of that stuff. And I realized that that's contradictory because that is a strategy and I have talked about that and maybe that works for you, but I'm here today to backpedal a little bit. And I've thought this through a lot lately and I think you should just create whatever the hell you want to create. Talk about what's inspiring you at that moment. And I think the idea is that you put it out there and hopefully your audience will find you, but you're not putting it out there for them. You're putting it out there for you. And then whatever comes of that, comes of that. I liken it to like being in a band, grew up, been in multiple bands, one that was moderately successful. But like anytime we wrote songs, we wrote them as a group and like, not with the idea of like, oh, we're going to write this kind of song for like this type of people or this audience will love like this grouping of songs that we wrote. You just write what you want and you're inspired in that moment. And of course you have a sound and you have a style and you're influenced by specific things that all craft that sound, or in this case, your podcast. It crafts who you are and what you make based on your external influences and the shows that you listen to. But like, think of the Rolling Stones or Taylor Swift or the Foo Fighters, Zach Bryan or Dr. Dre or any of the great hip hop artists, Elton John, you know, rock stars, accomplished musicians, John Mayer, Fish. I'm just listing all these bands right now. I've been listening to the Eagles a lot. But in any case, all these the greats of whatever genre. You think they sat there and they're like, dude, we're going to write this type of music because like these people over here are going to love it. No, dude, they just wrote whatever they wanted, whatever that came to them. And they felt inspired to create that at the time. Things are different album to album. As you grow in your podcast, 24 episodes later, it's going to be a little different. And so I just want to start creating more things and more episodes around like what I'm inspired by right now. And a big one right now is SEO and how SEO is changing. And Google is still obviously gets a ton of traffic and people are searching stuff on Google. But you know, now there's YouTube and AI and you have to craft a strategy that encompasses all of that with your content. And how do you rank in those different channels? That's just an example. That's something I've been wanting to talk about more. And so a lot of podcasts that I've been listening to lately talk about that. I have a growing blog and getting, 4,000 or 5,000 organic visitors a month to the website. And I want to do more of that. So I'm excited by that. But like, dude, you put out what you want to put out and hopefully people resonate with it. But if they don't, it's what you wanted to create in the world. Rick Rubin talks about that. And that's just something that I'm interested in right now. But this is going to sound contradictory again, but I realize that there are two ways of looking at it. And maybe being a creative isn't the same as if you were podcasting for your business. And the goal was to get leads and to target people that you already know are into your shit so that you can market to them and maybe they'll become potential customers. And I'm not saying I'm never going to do that. Like, I get it. Like, if there's certain like subgroups of your audience and they're super interested in specific types of episodes that you're putting out, as a business, yeah, you probably want to cater to them because those are quote unquote like your diehard fans or at least the people that are interested in your stuff. And so as far as like driving revenue and leads, it is important to do that. So I'm not against it. But I just think there needs to be this balance of catering to those people sometimes, at least for myself. This is for myself, catering to, you know, some episodes around that, but also just like talking about what you want to talk about. I'm not against either or. I think dipping my hand in that business bucket of podcasting ideology, it's been a little challenging because I feel like I'm more free-spirited and I like to say fuck and I like to, just kind of go with where my mind's going at the time, and I'm inspired by a lot of different things. So I'm just saying that if you have that business type of show, that might be the right lane for you, but I would challenge you to venture out just a little bit and maybe do some episodes that maybe aren't quote unquote in the status quo of what you've normally talked about. It's all strategic and, what you're doing on the business side of things versus creatively what you're doing. And I think those two things can coalesce, but I'm just saying here and now, I think it does fit my vibe and my style more to talk a little bit more freely. But I think some of the most badass businesses are the ones who kind of speak their mind or are more free and are trying to disrupt things. I think right now in my mind of like Manscaped and what they're doing, or some of the seltzer waters like Happy Dad and what the Nelk Boys are doing. And sure, it's all business oriented, but they've kind of broken the mold and they've become badass, at least to me, in that vein, because they were able to kind of do what they wanted. And they have quote unquote, maybe like more outrageous marketing, or just like feels more free. It doesn't feel like so stuck and constricted the way business can feel sometimes. Do your thing, do what feels right. And that's it today. I just burped up Zankou chicken. Those of you that aren't in Southern California, Jesus, do you have Zankou? So bomb. Like pita wraps, chicken, hummus, Middle Eastern food, tabbouleh, tahini, beef kebab, chicken shawarma, bomb. But in any case, I'm going to be back next week. I've got a couple guests lined up, which I'm stoked about, to learn more from them and to also teach you more, to talk podcasting, to talk content creation, SEO, and more. And you're listening to Clipped, a Podcast Haven original. So keep listening, keep engaging, keep creating. I'm out.